We're sort of used to, the noise, whatever you want to call it. There's part of this job is just the expectations, the judgment, the criticism, the praise. It all lumps into one thing, and it doesn't really mean anything for us as we get started with training camp.
Two more questions for Coach.
How important do you think it's going to be to get Wiseman on the court with Steph and Draymond, particularly for a young rookie trying to learn you guys, and in a lot of ways you guys are Steph and Draymond?
Yeah, I mean, it's important for us to get James on the court, period. But obviously with Steph and Draymond, given that, our bread and butter offensively is the Steph Draymond pick and roll. And when he's on the court with those guys, he's got to learn the spacing. He's got to learn to get to that dunker spot and be on the backside of understand his role in those circumstances. And then at the other end of the floor, Draymond is going to be anchoring the defense, and he's got to be Draymond's partner ultimately. Looney learned over his first couple of years, he learned the ropes at the 5. Looney is going to be so much more advanced than James will be defensively. So James has a lot to catch up on. But James's potential athletically is so dramatic that I imagine he'll have a chance to step in and help us because he's so athletic and dynamic. But there's a ton to learn, and he doesn't have the value of a summer league and a whole summer of workouts. So a lot to catch up on in every respect. So we just got to do our best, and I'm excited for James, but also want to preach caution for everybody not to expect too much too soon, because we're just throwing him right into the fire, and he played 3 college games, so he's got a lot of things to learn.
All right, let's go to Monty Poole and then Kerr to wrap it up.
Steve, how do you feel about your depth in terms of? I know you last year obviously it was a whole different year, but in your glory years, depth was a crucial element. How do you feel about what you have now, and what do you need from those guys?
Yeah, I think on paper we would appear to have pretty good depth. We've got we've signed some veteran guys who know how to play, who have been successful in this league. You talk about Brad Wanamaker and Kent Bazemore. You think about what Marquise and Eric Pascal did last year, Jordan at the end of the year. We have some players who we feel like can absolutely fill roles, and if you look at it, there's a pretty good roster there to have the depth that we need. But it all has to fit together, and the pieces have to fit, and we've got to find the right rotations and patterns and all that stuff. So a lot of work ahead, but it is exciting to think about what we're working with this year.
Quick follow. Do you feel you'll have to toggle Steph and Draymond to keep one of them on the floor at all times?
No, not necessarily. I think we've tried that in the past, and it seems like I almost always end up going back to playing them together. I think there's such a dynamic pair offensively, especially together in the pick and roll. My gut would be from the beginning this year to just play them together and then try to find another combination when those two guys are on the bench. It's different, I think, if you were talking about Steph and Klay, then I would say yes, because I think you need to keep a score on the floor all the time. But it's different with Draymond, because part of what makes Draymond special is his pairing with Steph offensively and how well they complement one another on the pick and roll. So my gut, as we speak, is to say I'm going to play them together, but obviously we'll see how it all plays out.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to save this question for the end because it's about Steph on social issues. Like this offseason, he did the IG with Dr. Fauci about how people can protect themselves with coronavirus. We saw him wear Breonna Taylor's shoes to a golf event. He made a video for the DNC. I mean, as the NBA comes back and the players have their massive platforms returning, do you feel like things have supercharged for Steph, understanding the value of his voice?
I think this has been kind of the natural evolution for Steph over the last couple of years. You know, he's obviously such a socially conscious person. He's done so much over the years to help the Bay Area community and nationally. I mean, one of my favorite things that Steph has done is really started the golf program at Howard. I thought that was one of the coolest things that he's done, you know, with Under Armour, and then you start thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, he did this, did that, and you can just start checking things off. And he and Aisha have done so many things together to try to positively impact people, and it's really inspiring. And then the thing that I love about Steph is that he's well aware too that all this comes from him being a great basketball player. You know, the power that he holds to impact people in a positive way. The gist of all that comes from him being a great basketball player, and he never gets away from working on his craft. And he's in the gym every single day, working so hard, and so he's able to juggle a lot of different things without losing focus on what really triggers all of the things that he's able to do, which is his career, his basketball career.
Great. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. For those of